can start right now, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, perfect. Está en grabación, ¿verdad?
Yes.
Well, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the art talk moderated by Al-Tiba9 Contemporary Art in ArtsLibris Barcelona 2021, the International Fair of Artists, Books here in Barcelona. So this talk titled Go Digital, and we've been all out from the digital and online presentation, and today we are physically presenting physical publications in this fair, inviting with you as well virtually panelists from different countries. So here Mohamed Benhadj, founder and curator of Al-Tiba9 Contemporary Art speaking, and I invited with me today we have Alec, an American artist based in Italy. Hello.
Hey.
Yeah, and then we have Carolina Serrano, Portuguese artist based in Germany. Hello.
Hello.
We also have with us two galleries, and we have the gallerist Miguel Rios from Uma League. Hello.
Yes, hello.
And we also have with us here in Germany, we have Paulo Nuez from Gallery Xerrada. So welcome with us today.
Very much. Good afternoon.
Thank you. I would really highlight that Alec, we had a great experience where we've been all during the lockdown last year, and we talked so many times via Zoom as well about the publication we had together, the way we worked together, and I think actually really feeling very comfortable seeing you again and very excited to talk to you. And I think that is also a result of having this virtual presentation. I'm very excited to see you, physically one day. So we're gonna present your work with us. Carolina Serrano is actually the featured artist on the cover of issue 8 of our magazine, and we have also published an interview, so we're gonna talk a little bit about your work and also your presentation in the magazine. Galleries here, we will also support the idea being going digital from physical presentation, then we got virtual, and also we hear their opinion about the presenting artists from their gallery in a book fair instead of an art fair as we used to see before, and also we're gonna ask them about how they also promote their gallery through publications, printed publications, and also online presentations. So now we will, for the public, we will showcase the magazine. So we will now here get the pages. So I think the artists won't really see what we have, but actually we are presenting the issue 8 magazine. So here we are. So we got here the cover artist by Carolina Serrano, and then we go here on featured artist as cover artist. I highlight that this is a limited edition magazine. So the way we feature the artists in here is a result of a curatorial, as I created every article to highlight the work of the artist, and it gave all to them a good connection between each other. Some of the artworks, especially in the field of video art, animation, they've been featured in the paper, which sometimes very challenging for these artists. And so you can see here some of the works that we have and how we get the magazine designed. So here we have some artists, for example, from all over the world, from digital art, painting, photographies. I just go so you can see more of what we have. I also highlight that the Al-Tiba9 magazine is recommendation for a doctoral design degree at Tama Art University in Tokyo, Japan, and also been recommended by SCAD, the University of Creative Careers in the US. So here we have more on photography section. as you can see. You go also on paintings. You also go to the article of Carolina Serrano as she is present with us. So I just go in here, so you can find directly her full biography and artist assignment, and the works also represented by Imalovic Gallery. So I give a word to Carolina Serrano. So Carolina Serrano, as I said, so you are one of the artists featured in the magazine, and you are also the cover artist. So could you please tell us a little bit about yourself as an artist, and what's it for you being one of the artists published in our magazine?
Yes, so first of all, thank you for inviting me to be on the talk. It's a pleasure to be with you via Zoom digital in Barcelona. And I'm an artist. I work mainly in the field of sculpture, and my material of choice is paraffin wax. I was born in Portugal, and I moved to Germany, to Cologne, recently, less than a year ago. I did my art studies in Lisbon also, and for me, and I think for every artist, it's very important to be, for the work to be on publications, because it's a way to do an archive, and to have written things about your work is also very important. And I think the documentation that remains after we do an exhibition or after we just do a work in atelier, to have it printed, to have it materialized in a publication is very important for the future to keep.
Good, good. What about galleries? I would like to know your opinion about having one of your artists featured in printed art publications. Do you think this is going to boost their art career?
The question is for me?
To the galleries, Miguel, for example.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, hi, hello. So, yes, of course, I think it's very important to be in a physical magazine, as you showed us. First of all, culturally, we are into that kind of tool of working. For me, a magazine, regarding when you're speaking about art magazines, besides the publicity and besides what supports the magazine, it's a tool of working. It's a tool to first of all recognize something that happens, a movement or an artist or happens in a museum. So it's a proof that the things sometimes exist. So when we have, in the contemporary art nowadays, we have lots of exhibitions that most of the times are kind of site-specific exhibitions, for example. And so it's very, very comfortable and very useful for everybody. I mean, public and even for editors and even for the galleries and the artists to maintain, to keep and preserve the information from these site-specifics, for example. When they are not site-specific, it's also very useful because it brings us to a context that the magazine can give us. I'm always I don't know if I'm answering you. If you want to go longer in my speech regarding this subject, or if you want to interrupt me.
I'm going to go deeper with you for sure, but could you tell us a little bit about the vision of your gallery and introduce us to the score of your gallery?
Of that?
Of your gallery. The vision that you have on that, yes.
Okay, so the Umul League started 3 years ago. So in a way, started 2 years ago because 2020 was totally empty. I mean, the business was not good. Everything stopped in a way for a young gallery. Anyway, when I decided to open the gallery, I really come from my background is the art field and design field. I'm a designer, but I also run art foundation in Portugal, the Al-Tiba9 Foundation, that is a private collection. So I decided to open a gallery only because I'm totally connected to the art world and to be my business, and I'm really interested in focusing certain artists and to follow them and to introduce them to the market and to introduce them to the institutions and public, of course. So the gallery, it runs on that direction. It's very young. We are representing, I think, 7 artists or 6 artists. And we do lots of projects with other artists from these Portuguese, international, and these emergent geographies. We work already with Joel Andrea Merisoa, with workers from Lebanon, with Portuguese artists that are young artists or more in middle career. So the focus of the gallery is to present them to the world, work with lots of art fairs if we can, and that's it.
So
of course,
yeah. So what do you think when you said like you promote your artists? So what do you think about the artists self-promote themselves? Like, do you help them? Do you like give them direction on which best publication to be featured in, or which exhibitions to participate? So what's the relationship you build with the artist when it gets to self-promotion?
Okay, this is complex because it depends on the personality of the artist. A lot. There are artists that are very shy and they are very to themselves. They work to themselves and they don't want to be in the spotlights. There are others that they want to be in the spotlights. So it's totally different the way I work with them. I can tell you I have 7 artists and I work differently with each other.
Sure.
So, but basically, for me as a gallery, as a gallerist, and with the gallery, my idea is I'm going to do like a scheme.
Sure.
Receive them first without being represented by the gallery, see how they work with me, see how is the relationship, make a first project exhibition at the gallery. That's a small space. It's a 30 square exhibition room. It's not too much, but to start is quite interesting. So I invited them I invited one artist to do a solo show, and then I follow everything regarding communication, introducing them to magazines, to institutions, to curators, collectors, whatever. I'm always telling them that is the thing that they want to be in the spotlight very, very quickly. And I play with time. Time for me is one of the tools more important to construct an artist in the market. It's not, I don't believe the artists that they go very fast, then they cannot stay there and fall down. So my thing is to work them and to give them all the tools to work with other services. And when I say a service, I say, when I'm telling about a service, I'm telling about, like, for example, a magazine.
Yes.
Magazine is very important for them. And I prefer to work with artists that they know what they want and they know how to self-communicate themselves with since from the artwork itself until its personality. They're the person that is really very shy. It's very difficult to work with them nowadays because there's a problem sometimes with the artist, and I'm speaking in a general way. That's it. The artists still have the romantic idea that can be there and be discovered.
But I understand when some of the artists are shy. Some of them they need also curatorial work on the side, to conduct them to have the best result of their work. But if I keep it as a gallery, so when you you say a magazine or a publication, so publication in general, or what do you feel when it comes to online presentation, for example? Even though as a gallery you are not really maybe use it to digital presentation, or galleries when it's not really familiar or friendly with the digital presentation, it's still easy for a gallery to recommend this channel that today is very important.
Yes, coronavirus just came to help us on this matter.
Sure.
This is my opinion, because of course we were lazy, because the digital way to promote and to put the artists or the galleries on screen, and of course it's very important. Maybe we were a little bit lazy, I'm saying in general, but I can give you an example. Nowadays my gallery is going to change the website, and we are going to have what I call the viewing room, where you can go through everything that will be virtual.
Sure.
Podcasts that we are going to start on September, virtual exhibitions that we are going to send as portfolios, whatever.
Yeah.
So we are going to have a part that is really digital. But besides of that, we need the physical way, because we need to see the artwork itself and to contextualize it with us and with our way of seeing the art itself. But it will be divided, I think, 60% of investment to the gallery physically and 40% for the visual, for the digital part.
Good. Yeah. That's really interesting.
Even after this coronavirus, we have to focus on that. It's really important.
Very interesting statement. I'm gonna keep back and then come back to you as well. I will ask Pablo Nuez from Xerrada after he present his gallery, of course. I want him to tell us a little bit about the difference from promoting an artist in an art fair and in a digital art fair and in a physical book art fair. So what's the difference for you? Do you think that it's very important for you as a gallery, but also as an artist?
Well, first of all, I think so, like Miguel told already, we are changing like gallerists. The project of the future of the galleries will be changed because of the situation that the coronavirus brings to us. So in my case in particular, in this moment that I am starting a new project here in Germany, I must to think more than the situation of coronavirus arrived, what I intend to do in the project of the gallery, and how can I help the artists to work together with them, because sometimes it's not so easy think about separate the traditional conditions of art fairs for the future of the promotions like book fairs or even the digital conditions. We saw last year a few fairs making in the digital model the fair, and there is something that we must do to prepare the collectors, the curators, and so this is a moment of changes, and I think so that all the galleries must think also that we must to change something in our project, in present and the future project, and we must to work together with the artists, independent the moment, the age, or how the artists are in the market. I think so. In that moment, yet the clients, the collectors, curators, they see yet the traditional fairs like the model that like they like to visit. It's important to see the artwork. It's important to feel what the artwork in that moment in the space around represent when we see by the traditional fairs. So that's the main point that I think that will be continuous, perhaps with some modifications. For example, perhaps in the future we can have a traditional fair, because there are people that can came here to visit the fairs, but there are more people that cannot came here, and the online fair or some digital material made from the own fair can be good for the galleries, for the artists, and for the old fairs, the traditional fairs.
Definitely, definitely. I will go now to Alec and Carolina and ask their point of view as artists. And hello, Alec.
Hey.
So, I highlight again that you've been with us in the original. So we're gonna show right now an upper overview for the magazine, for the issue 5. So here we have the cover page of the magazine, and then we can go quickly to your page 40. Yeah, it's 44, 45. Then we can actually see you in here. So we are presenting your work. We have a full statement. I really like the way you describe your work. We already talked about that. And here we can see also your installation in Venice Biennale, and we have a full interview where the visitors can actually read online and also in the print publication. So here, as I said, back by the time when we had the interview, I actually reading it directly from the paper, and I saying, today the world is facing the pandemic COVID-19. What is a typical day like for you, and how do you continue doing your art under these circumstances? So today, as we are out of this lockdown and we are in a physical book fair, I would re-ask you the question. So what is a typical day like for you after the lockdown? How was the experience, and how do you have this, impact your way of working or seeing your work or all of your projects actually?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me back. Huge pleasure to meet Carolina, Miguel, and Paolo. Y un saludo a todo Barcelona. But apart from that, it's funny that you mentioned that the last time we actually spoke, and this is scary. We had already planned to have the talk, and you were presenting the issue. And I don't know if you remember, but I actually logged on from the car outside of the hospital. Like literally, yes. Because I didn't want to let you down, and I didn't want the whole situation was just so surreal. Yes. That I went ahead and did it on my phone in the car outside of the morgue, basically. Yeah. So COVID has not been kind in that sense. I think we've all been hit by it. For me, it was really strange because I kind of navigate different waters. I have, the visual art and the photography that I do for the basis of my creation, which I couldn't do. I couldn't leave the house. I went through a huge amount of time where I was sick and tired of listening to everybody wanting to create from a place of lockdown. You know what I mean? Like if one more artist would call me and say, I have a new series and it's about the lockdown, like I completely shut down, closed my computer, and I didn't want to talk to anyone. And then I also, I had huge shows planned for 2020 and 21. Everything was already planned, the work was already done. So I went through a huge mourning period, something that I had never gone through before as a creator. I went through kind of questioned the relevance, how relevant my voice was, or our voice in general, because in Italy especially, I don't know what it was like in Portugal or in Germany or even in Barcelona during the whole lockdown, but here we were repeatedly told that artists are part of the unessential group of people. So the government was helping huge groups as was obvious and as was necessary. But to me, this thing of constantly saying that, well, the arts is really not necessary, so they'll be helped later, what it actually did was put a fire into me, which has had me working for the past 6 months, 24 hours a day, like I don't think I've ever worked before. It's taken me to places where my creation is coming from a place of absolute truth. Not that it wasn't before, but maybe I understand my truth and what it is I need to say at this particular point in time. It took away a lot of fear, in the sense not that I'm a fearful person, but as an artist, sometimes you question because you have the voice of the gallery, now you have the voice of the fair, you have the voice of the collectors, you have the voice of. Right now, and excuse my French, I don't give. This is what I'm doing. This is what I have to say, and together with my galleries, with my, with the collectors, we walk together in this. And to me, that's the fundamental. What I took out of that is collaboration is everything. Everything when it comes to our careers. And the one thing I can say is, I'm hoping there's going to be and people are going to hate me for saying this, but I hope galleries and artists hold hands again and fight against the huge machine that are the art fairs that kind of suffocate so many talents that could come out in different ways, creative ways, this renaissance of voices and of creations that has kind of been numbed by a market that has to work a certain way.
Sure.
So my days now are full 24 hours a day, unfortunately most of the time in front of the computer. But it's all about being true to who I am, getting my voice across, and collaborating. I've been collaborating, my entire career has been collaborating, but now it's even more. It's all about collaborating.
That's very good to know.
Who wants to work with me? Yeah.
Well,
So it's taken.
As you know, it's during the original issue of the magazine when we actually met first time digitally. For me, as a creator and founder of the platform of Al-Tiba9 Contemporary Art, as the direct contact with the artist is very important, and there is no barrier of this kind of a scary stage of being a curator, the artist. And I think this most surprising thing for the artists that at least reach Al-Tiba9 is that when they finish the first contact with us, is that it's not scary anymore, So it's not, it's not scary to get in touch with a curator or being in a curated exhibition. Or we basically, I think the key of this is to make it too easy to collaborate, to make harder things look easy to achieve. And I think that's what we want to say.
Sorry, Mohamed. I think this is important for me to say at this point. I think I told you this back last year or something. Most times I don't approach publications or. I thought that was a really interesting, a really intelligent question you asked Miguel about. As a gallery, does he help curate the publicity and stuff for the artists? I normally don't approach publications and things like that, or call for artists. If I like what it entails or what's behind it, then of course I'm interested. And in your case, what you have, from my point of view, you have a quality control that I think permits to do this double standard thing. I checked out the magazine physically, and then I checked out your presentation online and digitally, and the ambition you have matches your passion, which then leads to a product, from my point of view, which is quality. And as quality, as a creator, I want to be a part of that. I don't know if that makes sense.
It makes sense. It makes sense. Totally makes sense.
So that becomes then a dialogue, and it becomes something I'm proud to be a part of. And if I can help you, and you can help me, and I meet Carolina now, and if Carolina, we can find a way, then I'm into it. If it would have felt at any time like it was just another call for artists, or let's take advantage of the artists to try to get them stuff, then it wouldn't happen. But your passion does come through, from my point of view.
On my side, as a creator and a designer of this Al-Tiba9 magazine, I always tell to the people I work with, the artists I meet, that as a creator or an art professional, you will build an empire, but not to be a dictator. You build an empire actually to be this server. So you need to build to serve. And that's why we serve. So I serve quality, and that quality means more you share, more you build a community. And that is what attracts the artists to apply every time to our magazine, to approach the magazine. And I think that is kind of the spirit of building a community that makes it easy to collaborate, easy to achieve a good quality that you talk about it. I will go back now to the galleries, as we have, sorry, to Calarina first. So for me, I want to ask Calarina about what's a good publication for you is. So how could you identify a good art publication from another one?
I think like everything in life, it's all about empathy. So if I see a publication that I admire the artworks, I like the artists, I like the way how it's designed. I don't know if I see, because that's my opinion as a human being, as an artist. If I see that I like, it has quality. I really believe, like with artworks, with books, with movies, it's all about empathy. If you see yourself in the thing you are seeing, if you see yourself in a movie, in a publication, in a magazine, in artwork, it's because you are empathizing with that, and that's the thing you will like, you will prefer in life. So I think with the publication is the same thing. The quality, the way you see quality is the way you see yourself.
But when you say, when you see publication, do you mean when you see it first online?
When I see online, when I see printed, the quality is in what you see in yourself, that you reflect to the thing you are seeing outside yourself.
Could you give us 3 points of a good art publication that you can see online? Immediately you identify a good publication, or at least you get curious about it, you know, to see more, to dig deeper more.
If I see that it's coherent, it's a plus. That you see a publication and the artists can be different, but all have a common thing. The design is essential, the way the magazine or the publication online is put together. If it's interesting, if it has dynamic, that's a plus also. And the third thing, the one thing that I told you already, if you empathize to what you are seeing, that's also a plus.
I go back now to Paulo and Miguel, and I ask them almost the same question, because you also run your own art galleries and you need also to promote your artists. You also need to promote the gallery. So you have 2 things to promote. So what do you think about selecting art publication for your galleries?
It's not me.
You start?
Yeah.
Well, for me, this is not a complicated question or issue, because I'm very into something. When I say so, it's when you speak about publications physically and you speak about virtually, I understand them as a niche. I communicate to a niche. That's all, in a way. I don't care if no, that is not the point. I'm not going to be negative. I'm going to be positive.